What do glory holes, doggy style, and reverse cowgirl have in common? Well, other than phrases you might want to leave out of your family charades game, they're all recommendations about how to be safe while having sex during the coronavirus pandemic. Today, I'm going to cover these recommendations and more on the best ways to get down during COVID. Let's face it, humans are sexual beings, and sometimes spending evenings binging Bridgerton and fantasizing about the Duke just doesn't cut it. But wait, you say, I don't want to get infected with the coronavirus. I'm trying to avoid getting within 6 feet of other people and breathing on each other, and don't those things happen a lot during sex? I mean, how's this gonna work? Well, lucky for you, doctors and health officials have come up with some tips to help you stay safe while having sex during the pandemic. You're not wrong. Getting close and breathing heavily with someone who may be contagious can be risky. So for tip number 1, try masturbating. You are your safest sex partner. If it helps, try out some sex toys. Turns out plenty of people did just that. Sex toy demand surged in 2020, and sex toy makers are working around the clock to meet rising demand. If you want to be completely safe but still want to connect, then try tip number 2, phone, video, or virtual sex. You can connect with someone you know, or, hey, did you know that your old high school crush just dropped a video on OnlyFans? If you want something a little more real, you're in luck because literally thousands of computer programmers have been working tirelessly to bring you to the edge with the cutting edge. That's right, VR sex. Maybe now it makes sense why your nephew Tucker really wanted that Oculus for Christmas. One of their top games is even called Beat Saber. I mean, I couldn't make this stuff up. Maybe solo or virtual sex isn't enough for you and you want the real thing. Well, then go with tip number 3 and keep the number of sex partners to a minimum. Try to have a dedicated sex buddy who's in your quarantine bubble, and make sure that both of you reduce exposure to other people as much as possible. New York City says that other than yourself, the next safest partner is someone you live with, which for many of us might just be our roommate. Well, that might work a little better for some people than others. When choosing a sex partner, tip 4 is to make sure it's someone you can trust. Your partner should be honest and upfront about their COVID test results or if they have any symptoms. Avoid sex with any partner if they're not feeling well, if they've tested positive, or have COVID symptoms like a running nose or trouble breathing. Tip number 5. Hold off on the orgies. Okay, this may seem obvious, but we just had 41 people in New Orleans who tested positive after a swingers convention, so just don't. If you're bumping outside your bubble, things can get a little bit trickier. The coronavirus spreads through fluids, so for tip number 6, try to limit kissing where possible. Harvard doctors published a study suggesting wearing a mask, and this might be a little tougher, but hey, a little Grey's Anatomy roleplay might not be too bad. Now, for tip number 7, don't forget about the basics and use protection. Condoms can help reduce contact with semen, feces, and other fluids, which may contain the coronavirus. Tip number 8 applies to all aspects of life. Stay clean. Shower before and after sex, wash your sheets, and don't be touching your face with your unwashed hands, okay? If you follow these steps, you can have a fun and safer time during the pandemic. Okay, but wait, what about glory holes, doggy style, and reverse cowgirl? Don't worry, I didn't forget. We can't talk about COVID sex recommendations without giving a couple of shout outs to public health experts, that have gone above and beyond to provide some specific and creative safety suggestions. The British Columbia CDC has recommended using barriers, for example, glory holes, to limit face-to-face contact. All right, Canada, I see you. Get your kink on. Next up, the Journal of Clinical Medicine recommends posterior coital penetrative positions. Okay, hold up. Did a group of doctors and epidemiologists just recommend doggy style? Well, perhaps give it a whirl, for science. Professionals are certainly listening, as sex workers in Switzerland reduced their menu down to only 2 sex positions, doggy style and reverse cowgirl. Now, that's what I call dedication to workplace safety. All jokes aside, we hope that this has been helpful. Links to sources and more information are below. Hit the like button to help us out and subscribe for more videos about health and medicine. And if there's a health question that you would like us to cover, let us know in the comments below. Stay safe and have fun.